Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Before starting my video, if you didn't subscribe my channel yet, please do, and do not forget to turn on notifications as I'm sharing everyday great contents for you. Alright, in this video we will cover URL helpers. So what is that URL helpers? While we're developing our applications, time by time, we might need create our links. So how we can do it? We can type manually. As you can see here, I typed whole paths as a manually, and I just typed my controller action and the variable link as a manually as well. So it's small, in a small project it's normal, you can type it manually. But what if you have um, more than one route? So every time, are you going to go back to settings, configurations, uh, what kind of route are you using, and what kind of link should you type according to used route? So what is that route? What is that pattern? Let's go back our program CS file. As you can see, we have a map controller route here. I just add newly a temporary route here. Okay, so as a default, we have this pattern, and as a temporary name, we have this pattern. The application going to use the default name route for all the time, but if I would like to use it manually, I can use this temporary route as well. Okay, so as you can see, this route has normal controller action and ID, and this route has another static page between controller and action, which is named test. So which link you should use while you're creating your application? Just imagine you are struggling a lot of problem while you're creating your application, and you are not able to remember what kind of route do you need. So in this section we are using URL helpers, guys. Okay, let's come back to our URL helpers right now. We have four methods to create. Actually, we have three methods to create a new link, and the last one is a property. We're going to use it to have information about current URL. Okay, let's start with the action. As you can see, we have many overloads. It's about 9 overloads we have in action method, but I'm going to use three of them. You can use the other one as well. You can try, but these are the most used one, guys. I just gave the action name. I gave the action name and the controller name, and I gave action name, control name, and anonymous variable. Okay, so it is going to be URL helper test, and 3. Let's type it here. Okay, URL helper slash URL helper test slash 3. This is expected link in this section. What I going to have if I type like that? The only difference between these two, it doesn't have any variable, so just delete it. And what is the difference between these two? There is nothing different because it select the controller automatically. So URL helper test, this is the action. So which action does have this URL helper test? URL helper controller. So it is going to the same result. Okay, let's start the application and see the result. I'm just going to copy this. Oops. Let's copy this. All right. Slash. All right. Let's have a look our results. Action 1, as you can see, URL helper and URL helper test. Action 2, the same. And action 3, URL helper test, and 3. This is how we're creating our link easily. Just imagine you are in another controller system. Maybe you might create area, and I'm going to teach you for future lesson as well. We're going to move step by step, guys. Do not worry about it. And the area has own pattern. So you would like to create any link in your area, and you're going to just use URL action, give your index from controller. It is going to be created automatically. Alright, guys. Let's continue with the action link. Alright, let's close this manual and let's continue with the action link. So what is that action link? It does the same thing exactly what the action does, but the only difference is it brings you the host protocol information as well. Alright, let's put a breakpoint here and see the result. Here we go. It's not you, sorry. Let's have a look. The action one is URL helper test. Let's have a look. Action 4 is HTTPS localhost blah 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 URL helper and test. So it brings us protocol and host information as well. This is the main difference between action and action link. Let's have a look. Action 5, as you can see, the HTTP and localhost as well. Let's continue. Same as action 6 and action 3. Perfect. I assume you understand URL action and action link. Alright, we going to understand the easy way what the URL helper is in this root URL section. Okay, let's close this action and action link. And so as you can see, we have another method, and which is taking a root name. So once I type here a root name, we're going to get which root are we going to use. So what if I search temporary, and what if what's gonna happen? What if I search select default? Let's put a breakpoint here and see the result. What kind of link is going to be created by URL dot root URL? All right, it's F10, and as you can see, URL helper test, URL helper test. As you can see, we are using temporary section. Okay, we have a couple of more overload. Let's have a look. Action 8. Actually, I don't remember what is left to teach you. I would like to have a look. Okay. So, object value, root name and object. So we can give a variable with the value. We can add protocol, host, and fragment information. Yeah, we can add protocol, host, and fragment information. By the way, you can add protocol, host, and fragment information for action and action link as well. So now I'm going to add just for root URL, okay? So let's type, for example, default for this time. Default, alright? And it is asking a object value. Let's add an anonymous object, ID equal 15. Let's put comma. It is asking us a protocol. Let's say HTTPS, just for example, and the host, let's say local host, just random number, okay? And according to this information, we're going to get a new link, and it's going to be default pattern. All right, let's put breakpoint here and see what kind of link do we have? Okay. As you can see, HTTPS, localhost, URL helper test, and 15. This is how we're creating links. What if I change default to temporary? And let's see the results quickly. Every information is same, just I change the pattern. And it is going to create, it is going to create our link according to our pattern name. URL helper test, perfect. Let's have a look. Action 8, localhost URL helper test, static page, URL helper test, and 15. Perfect. I assume you understand how we are using root URL. Alright, let's close breakpoint. And we have an action context. And it is giving us the property of current URL. We are in breakpoint anyway. Let's F10. Let's have a look. Action context. Let's go inside. As you can see, we have model state, root data, HTTP context, action descriptor, and we have a lot of information about this. Okay, let's have a look at HTTP context. We have endpoints, feature, items, every detail you can come here. User is authenticated false. Yes, of course it's false. We are not using authorized attribute. You can reach every detail about the request and URL from action context, guys. All right. I guess I'm going to finish this lesson here. I was thinking to teach you both URL helper and HTML helper, but it's going to be too much. Let's finish this lesson here, and next lesson will be about HTML helpers. Alright, take care of yourself. See you on next lesson, guys. Bye bye.